Yo, what is up, guys? This is your boy Anvil Ed here, and I'm back with the one and only Sarah T. What is going on, Sarah T?
Nothing much. I don't know.
Yes, we are continuing our journey along the ORAS, CORAS of ORAS. Uh, and today we'll be going over some spicier cores that are very underrated in the tier. Um, So, starting it off spicy, we have Mono Red. So, many of you may not know, but Talonflame is one of the most, if not the most underrated mon in the entire tier. It might not even be underrated, it just has solid use altogether, and people seem to use it more and more for good purpose. There is some good synergy it has with a lot of different mons in the tier. Um, it is unique in the fact that it doesn't always need to run an item, so it is a good knockoff absorber. And with something like Taunt, you are a pretty good switch in to Clefable, and you actually are one of the few switch-ins into Clefable that have good recovery in Roost. Priority Roost, that is, with Gale Wings. And Gale Wings is also pretty good offensively as a means of speed control for more offensive teams that involve HO mons like Volcarona, Serp, Alakazam too. Very solid, both defensively and offensively. Talonflame is able to go at Mach 5 speed. But yeah, seriously though, if you sleep on Talonflame, please unsubscribe. You do not belong here. But yeah, Talonflame is really solid. It deals with a lot of HO mons, and it has really good synergy with stuff like Gastrodon, stuff like Scissor. Even if you want to make Latios or something work, Talonflame I think is the go-to partner for it because it lures in the same stuff. So what Talonflame can do is lure in stuff like Tyranitar and click Will-O-Wisp. Talonflame is honestly pretty annoying to switch into because of Will-O-Wisp. So even if you go into a ground like Tank Chomp or Landorus or something, you're still gonna take over Wisp, which is very annoying. And the only like good Magic Guard users in the tier, like Clef, they don't like Talonflame either. So that's one benefit of Talon. You can also lure in like water types and burn them, which is also pretty nice. You can 1v1 most Heatrans. Like, seriously, with the Taunt bulk up set, you can just set up on them if they don't have Earth Power. And even if they did, like, they can't really. You can outplay them. Like, it's not that big a deal. So yeah, don't sleep on Talon. Um, Gastrodon. So Talon and Gastrodon by themselves make a really solid core because Talon or Gastrodon can deal with most of the bulky waters in a tier, and it can click toxics versus them. So something like Volcanion doesn't appreciate getting toxic by Gastro. Gastro can kind of just heal up. And Gastro can also um, prevent Rotom from killing Talonflame. So yeah, it can also trade toxic for Wisp and annoy Rotom that way. Um, yeah, it deals with Volt Switch, it deals with Hydro pretty easily. It's also one of those other mons in the tier that is very annoying to Clef with Clear Smog. Because even if a Clef sets up, you can just Clear Smog all the boosts away and just sit.
Mhm.
And I think we saw that in a couple of SPL games before with John Filch and everything. But yeah, very annoying. Scald Toxic combination, always very hard to switch into. Um, Gastro is good defensively. Both you could. It's very customizable in terms of whether you want to make it defensive or Spadef. I think defensively you can make it so that it lives a high jump kick from Medi, and you can run something like counter to get rid of it, which is interesting. You can also make it like Spadef to tank Focus Blast and Dracos. Um, and we think the west side is the best side because it doesn't get hacked and it looks better. um, and then Scissor is there to just finish everything off. Scissor appreciates both these mons. Scissor appreciates Talon beating, in my opinion, beats most of the other fire types in the tier. so Scissor really appreciates that. Scissor also comes in on some of the Talonflame switches that you might see, like Tyranitar, and it can just get the U-turn momentum in, and really appreciates Talonflame putting in work with Will-O-Wisp. Scissor can also um, act as a secondary form of good priority with the SD Bullet Punch. So you have basically two solid defensive tanks that can also sweep, which is really cool. I think many of the mons that switch into Scissor, like um, Zapdos and Rotom and stuff, they don't appreciate Gastrodon. Gastrodon kind of walls them, so that's where it can also put in work with the Scald, Toxic, all that combination. Scissor, what else will come in on Scissor? Other steel types like Pharaoh might come in on Scissor. It's probably not gonna happen.
Maybe Keldeo?
Yeah, you know what, Keldeo. Yeah, Keldeo. Other water types can come in, and Gastro can deal with them. Talonflame can deal with the grass types like Serp. What else? Yeah. Trying to think what else, but yeah, it's a very solid. It's one of those cores that is very good defensively and offensively. It's like a very solid mix, and you could build a team that can deal with a wide variety of the meta with just 3 mods. And they're very versatile too. You can make Scissor your defogger if you really want to. You can make Talonflame taunt. You can make it SD Will-O-Wisp. You can make Gastro Curse or something like that.
No, I was gonna say that.
Anything else you want to say?
I just love like just how they all help each other defensively. Like Scissor's only weak against fire, and Gastrodon and Talonflame both resist fire. Gastrodon's really only weak to grass. Talonflame quad resist grass, as does Scissor. Talonflame is weak against electric. Gastrodon's immune. And I love that they all have instant recovery. Roost for Scissor and Talonflame, and recover for Gastrodon. And like you said, all of them it can potentially be support or sweepers. Scissor with Swords Dance, Talonflame with either Swords Dance or Bulk Up, Gastrodon with Curse. And all of them it can run support, and just be support and do that well as well. Like I don't typically run Talonflame with Taunt and Will-O-Wisp, but I gotta say I do hate facing it, and it's very annoying because you think, oh, they got Will-O-Wisp, I got my Clefin, I can just call mine on this or whatever, or maybe a couple people with this example, but maybe we have like some special mon or something, or just some sweeper that doesn't care about Wisp. Sorry, that cares about Wisp, but then you see Taunt, like, okay, I could just bring in my Bisharp on this and just knock it off or something. And then you see, oh, it's Taunt and Will-O-Wisp, and then you're like, you just lost your Bisharp's sweeping potential. And yeah, it's a very, it's like almost like semi-stall, this kind of core. Like you can run like other things with it too, to like add more synergies to it. Like I think like a dragon would be really well here, because you'll have another fire and grass resist most likely for many of them.
Yeah, that's a good point. So yeah, I think Yushi covered basically everything. In terms of weaknesses, similar to previous things, I think Manaphy is just, dude, I hate Manaphy, man.
I know.
I mean, this is such a cool core to use, and it deals with like most of the meta as is, but it's just Manaphy, man. Manaphy can
Manaphy with Energy Ball and Skull just kind of tracks on this, but that's why you need there's 6 slots on a team.
True.
So hopefully 2 of the other ones can help with that. But not all Manaphys have Energy Ball, just most of them.
True. Yeah. So this is one of the few scenarios where like, Talonflame, if you get the SD off before, you could just outplay and then just take out the mana fee before it takes you out. But usually with like fatter teams, you might want to run like Scarf Magnezone or something to maybe outspeed. Or you could run just like a Chansey or something. But even then, if it's
Honestly,
like
Scar
green
Magnezone would be a pretty good fit with this too, because even though we have you have Talonflame here, you typically don't run a fire move once it's Will-O-Wisp. And Ferrothorn can like get hazards up and like be annoying still, leech seed. So having Magnezone to trap it and having something for Manaphy, could fit pretty well. So that's another option there. It's a very we keep saying it. It's just very flexible, this core, and in a way I'm glad I don't see it too much, but I wish I did see it more.
True. I know there's been a mono blue team in the past, but I think mono red is a really solid.
What's mono blue? Is that Latios and crap?
Yeah, I think it's like the
Okay,
Metagross.
already worse. Already worse.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Speaking of blue things, yeah, we cut out the east side Gastrodon. Yeah, that doesn't.
That's alright.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, it just like a Gaga with the pink.
Yeah.
Gaga with the pink. Oh, one more fun fact about this team. So potentially all of these are answers to Weavile, because Gastrodon with Sticky Hold won't lose its item, and then you could counter it back. Talonflame, like we said, can run no item, and Scissor doesn't care about knockoff from Weavile. So all of them don't care about Weavile and can punish it, either with like Bullet Punch, which will OHKO most Weavile, Talonflame, which can Will-O-Wisp it or just revenge it with Acrobatics or Brave Bird, and Gastrodon just to scald it or what have you.
True. Gastro is also pretty good at Thunder switching.
There you go.
Stuff.
Oh yeah,
you can just spam Clear Smogon.
Mm-hmm. Clear Smogon, or just hold it, honestly. Like it's not gonna do much with like the ice.
Yeah, true.
I'm pretty sure it has Grass Knot. The rare Grass Knot one, like, it doesn't do anything.
True.
Focus Blast might hit a little bit after like the +3, but whatever. Or +4.
It really is just Manaphy, man. It's just invalidating a lot of stuff.
I mean, it was Ubers for like 2 gens before this.
True.
Just saying, it's not that crazy that it's still busted. But anyway.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I also want to say this core is, because of the double priority, it is also pretty solid versus stuff like Zam. So Zam is like pretty hard to switch into, but it's nice to have something like Scissor that can just BP hard, or a Talonflame that can just stab Gale Wings Acro you or something like that. That's also something really nice.
Oh, and also Scissor has Pursuit. So you can Pursuit, has Knockoff. It's ridiculous how much utility is here. The only thing you're missing is Stealth Rock. But, there's ample Stealth Rockers. Like we said, Garchomp could be a good fit for this team.
Seismitoad?
Yeah, I have double water grounds with water immunity.
Oh, yes.
Why not?
All right. Speaking of heat cores, we will move on to the next one. So
underrated defense. I couldn't think of another name for it. Sorry, but this is another core that I think it goes unappreciated. That I think is like just really solid. So Clefable. You guys know about Clefable, best on the tier, and it pairs really well with Landorus. Yeah, Landorus. How do I say that? Lando. And that Landorus can deal with most of the steel types in the tier, most of them. So like, especially if it's like Scarf or defensive, depending on like how you want to approach it, so either offensively or defensively. I mean, honestly, like even defensive Lando still hits pretty hard with that base 145 attack, and the Scarf Lando still has Intimidate, so it still has like that defensive utility. Plus, the typing is really good defensively. U-turn, knockoff, rocks, whatever. So they both pair really well with each other, and a common switch into Clefable, though maybe not as much nowadays. You might need to think about it. Is Excadrill. Landorus does not give a crap, doesn't give a shit about Excadrill. it doesn't matter what the set is. You just OHKO it with like Earthquake basically every time, and intimidate it. And you turn out, and yeah. So they both have nice utility there. And here's where Empoleon comes in, though. Empoleon doesn't care about ice or water, which is what Lando hates, and it doesn't care about Seal, which is quad resist, or poison, which it's immune to, which Clefable cares about. So it's a perfect defensive pairing for these two mons. It also has Scald, so you have like one of the best moves in the game. It has a knockoff, right? It has knockoff. I'm not making that up. Sorry, it's been a minute since I've used knockoff on Empoleon. It has Defog, it has Stealth Rocks. All these guys can Stealth Rock.
Oh, yeah, sure.
It has Roar if you want to like phase out. Toxic Protect to scout. So it doesn't get Roost. But still, protect lefties can go a long way. And I just love Empoleon. It's kind of like a similar to Gastrodon and Clefable, in that it's got such, well, in this case, unique typing. There's no other Water Steel type. It's got unique typing. It's got really great traits that allow it to basically function in a number of ways. You could have it be more physically defensive, more specially defensive, and a Torrent boosted Scald. It's pretty hard with it from this thing. Its attack isn't too shabby, and chance for burns, of course, are always nice. It's just a really nice glue for these two mons, and I think often you see Ferrothorn maybe with these two, Landorus and Clefable. I could easily put a Ferrothorn there, but the thing with that is Ferrothorn doesn't really like fire types. Ferrothorn's also pretty pretty passive. Doesn't have it does punish physical attackers with like Leech Seed and like its Iron Barbs and stuff. But Empoleon it has Scald. It's I don't know. To me, Empoleon's a more proactive option. But I mean, of course, Ferrothorn, most people would say would be better. But I just really think. Oh, also, like Empoleon doesn't really care about Scald either. Ferrothorn might care about that. Like, even if Empoleon gets scalded, it's still, it could still handle certain threats, which Ferrothorn wouldn't be able to. For instance, like if it gets burned and its power weapon isn't doing anything, like if you're facing like a substitute Gyarados or something, I just really love Empoleon. It's such a solid mon. Unironically, one of the best defoggers. Like Envy said that. Oh. I think first, but it's not a joke. It actually is a really good defogger, and I just really love Empoleon. It's one of my favorite Pokemon to use. Yeah.
I agree. I think a lot of people disrespect Empo, and the fact that it can just live a bunch of hits that people don't really think about. So a lot of times, what Sarah and I have been doing, Sarah made like an Empo set that lives in EQ from stuff like Landorus and Drill.
So I'm like carried away with Landorus, but some Landorus,
yeah. So what ends up happening is the Drill users think that we're gonna switch out because we fear Earthquake, but in fact, we stay in and we click Scald. Usually they'll just spin and not even damage the Empo. But if they do stay in and they EQ, then you fire Torrent boosted Scald, which usually takes them out. And that is really nice, especially in today's meta when people are roll compressing their Stealth Rocker, their Electric Immunity, and their Spinner all onto one mon in Excadrill. So Empo is one of those mons that can kind of farm those teams. I think with Scarf Landorus, like if you see a Scarf Landorus on Empo matchup, you can easily just click Protect, and then you'll know what move they're going for. You could just stay in and click Scald.
Yeah.
and do something like that. You can scout for Keldeo. You can troll the Mega Medicham users and the Megalop users, which I think has happened on multiple occasions when we've been using this. Um, what else? I know we mentioned defog and SERP. Is roar based on accuracy, or can you just roar everything out no matter what the
I think
evasion?
roar just roars. I
Roar
don't think
just
it
roars.
matters.
So that's really nice with Empo. You can just defog versus SERP, and then you can just roar that away even if it has the evasion boost. You have to watch out for taunt, but I mean if it's taunt SERP, then you can play around that anyways. But yeah, like Sarah said, there's so much utility. All of these are rockers. All of these are knockoff users. You can run Scarf, Lando. You can run Calm Mind Clef, or you can run Utility Clef, uh, a more sweeper Lando or something like that. Uh, or you could run Pattaya Berry Empo. No, I'm just kidding. Um, but yeah.
That was a thing. But yeah, I just checked. Roar does an accuracy check. It always goes through.
Oh, nice, nice.
At
Yeah,
least in
that's
Gen
really
6
good.
onwards. Before there's like some weird calculation, but I think it's about levels. I don't even know if it's relevant to competitive. I'm not reading this crap. But
Yeah,
yeah, it does an accuracy check in Gen 6 onwards.
yeah, that's good. So yeah, that's pretty good. Um, in terms of weaknesses, uh,
None. It's
yeah,
perfect.
one, it's perfect. Yeah.
No, no.
Let's see. I
This
think,
one's pretty good. This one's pretty good,
yeah.
honestly. I mean, maybe
I,
Bisharp. Bisharp's kind of annoying, perhaps. You know,
mhm,
especially if like your Landorus is weakened, and you know they get like the intimidate boost, then they could like sucker punch you, Iron Head the Clef, knock off the Empoleon. You know that could be bad.
mhm.
But besides Bisharp, you know, I'm not really seeing something that's immediately like you just click X off of. Which is really good because this is just 3 months. You know, like I said, this is a core. This isn't the full team. You know,
Yeah,
so
true.
if the core only has like one or two things you got to worry about, you still got a few more slots to play with to deal with that threat. And Bishop really isn't like as far as like Mons go to check. Bishop isn't really that hard difficult to deal with. You know, just get like a fighting a type on there, or like some that resist dark that outspeeds it. Or just a Zapdos, honestly. Like Zapdos,
Oh yeah, Zap
typing
Tempo.
wise, you wouldn't think it's like gonna deal with it so well, but
Mm.
it's bulk, it's special attack, heat waves and stuff. It makes it
Zapdos
pretty
Tempo.
yeah.
Yeah, Zapdos Empo is pretty good. I think Empo has pretty good synergy with a lot of mons too. Zapdos is one. I think Venusaur pairs pretty well with it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think we have a team
Um,
with those.
uh, oh yeah, you can also play around Weavile with this team. Empo can protect. You quad resist ice, which is like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
absolutely
That's
beautiful.
that's the beauty thing. That's the beauty with this because Lando and Clef both kind of hate Weavile because Weavile can hacks Clef, and Landorus of course doesn't like ice.
Yeah. Uh, and it's not weak to rocks like Volcanion. That's also
Mm-hmm.
a beauty.
Oh yeah, yeah. Not make the rocks, and so much is made. And this is just like a general thing that I get annoyed with. When people focus on what a mon can't do, like Empoleon can't recover. That's usually I think the thing that people, um, you know, knock it for. But there's so many things that it does do. You know, look at the positives, guys. I would say that just in general, as like a life philosophy type of thing. Look at what you can do. Don't focus on what you can't do, especially if you can't change it. So Empoleon it does a lot of good things. So it, I would seriously consider it in the team builder if you need really a number of things. If you need like a defogger, if you need like another answer to a clef. I'm sorry, not clef. Manaphy. If you need I don't know, even like a rocker or something to pair with Lando. If you already have like a fairy spot used instead of Clefable, like it just fits really well, especially with Lando.
Yeah,
No, so
Um,
yeah, that's really all I got.
for those of you who may just immediately discern our opinions, CBB used Empo 2 once on one of his teams. If CBB uses them on, it has potential. So don't just discount us, guys. There is some truth to it. Even with Seismitoad, CBB and X-Ray use that. So, there's something there.
Our
Just try it
dad,
out.
Keaton, also agrees that Empoleon's really good with Lando.
Oh, true.
Being stuck.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, Fada Keys also agrees. So,
Yeah.
if,
Don't.
if the Overlord says it's good, you best listen.
Yes, you best. Amen. Can I get an amen?
Can I get an amen?
All right, guys. That's it for this one. If you have any other suggestions, I think we might go into, if you want to see us do specifically offensive cores or specifically defensive cores, let us know. If you want us to see a stall team, please exit the premises immediately. But yeah, if you wanted us to do like specific mods, like what good partners for Keldeo or good partners for Toxic Rogue or something like that, also please let us know.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Any ideas? Put them in the comments.
uh, and
Also, like
oh yeah,
and
like
subscribe
the bronze zone,
and
the Tamako, and everything.
join the Discord if you
Oh
haven't
yes.
already. Thank you. Your mother's credit card numbers. The 3 digits on the back as well. Appreciated.
All
Just
right,
kidding, JK. Don't report us. Just a joke.
all right, guys. We'll see you around in the next one.
See you in
Peace.
Roblox, guys.
Yeah.